Okay, so let's dive into this. When you think of a creation story, what comes to mind? Usually it's something about a command, right? A word, a thought, something that starts with light. But what if the universe didn't begin in peace, but in pain? What if everything we know was actually born from a kind of divine sickness?
This right here, this is the heart of the Bantu creation myth, a Bumba. And it's a story that completely challenges us to rethink where power, where creativity, and where life really come from.
So picture it, a total void. There's no light, no sound, just Bumba, all alone, floating in this deep, waiting darkness. But this isn't going to be a story about some kind of divine comfort. Not at all.
See, an ache starts to swell up in his belly. The story calls it a holy sickness. And that's such a powerful idea. It's the profound suffering of a being who is literally carrying the world inside of him and just has to let it out.
And then, in this convulsive, really visceral act, the very first thing he brings forth is the sun. It's not spoken into existence, it's not carefully shaped, it's expelled. The first light was born from a moment of pure physical crisis.
But that creative ache, it wasn't done yet. He trembled and sweated, and from that came the moon and the stars, adding this incredible beauty to the darkness.
And then, life itself. The leopard, the eagle, each one perfectly itself. And last of all, humanity arrived. Kind of raw, kind of imperfect. And in that imperfection, Bumba saw a reflection of himself, a being that would also have to create entire worlds out of its own pain. So you see, this is so much more than just an ancient myth. It's a really powerful allegory. So let's break down what this story can teach all of us about turning our own struggles into sources of creation.
So our first big idea is this: finding power in pain. How suffering itself can become this generative, creative force.
The core idea here is that hardship isn't just something you have to get through. It can actually be the raw material for something brand new. It's the catalyst that makes creation not just possible, but absolutely necessary.
Think about it. Bumba's pain isn't a bug in the system. It's the feature that kicks the whole thing off. His vulnerability isn't a weakness. It's the very source of the universe. This holy sickness isn't some curse. It's the pressure of being completely overfull with creative potential. And we see this exact echo in the Black experience, turning the unbelievable pain of oppression into world-changing cultural forms, like the spirituals, the blues, and jazz.
So the crucial point is this: creation is often a violent, painful process of becoming. It's about taking a wound and transforming it into a new kind of wholeness. Okay, so let's move on to our second theme, which builds right on top of this: the power of agency. This is all about taking what's inside you and literally creating the world you need to exist.
Bumba didn't just wait around for a world to appear. He authored it from his own being. And we see this exact same power echoed throughout history. You know, when mainstream institutions refused access, Black communities created their own, like HBCUs. When words just weren't enough, the body became the medium for protest and dance. Bumba's intentional act of shaping reality, it's mirrored in the design of new economic and social systems, built for and by the community.
And that right there is the ultimate takeaway on agency. It's not just about pushing back. It's about the power to make, to create what you need, and to define who you are on your own terms. Well, that's the very essence of liberation.
But here's the thing, Bamazuma didn't just create a bunch of individuals. He created an ecosystem. And that brings us to our third theme, the absolutely vital importance of interconnectedness and community. His creation wasn't just a collection of separate things. It was a web of relationships. This whole principle teaches that survival isn't an individual project. It's about mutual care, where every single part supports the whole.
That shared origin, coming from Bumba, it creates a natural solidarity. And this leads to mutual aid, that ethic of reciprocal care that has been a total cornerstone of Black communities. Culture is kept alive by constantly passing it down. And crucially, when that web gets damaged, there's a deep commitment to repair it, to restore the balance.
I mean, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? Real strength isn't in how strong one individual is, but in the collective support system. It's in the integrity of the entire web.
All right, for our final theme, let's look at renewal. Bumba's story isn't about a single one-and-done act of creation. No, it's about a continuous cyclical process of always beginning again.
This four-step cycle is basically the engine of resilience. It always starts with struggle, a crisis that feels like an ending. But that pressure, it sparks new creation. Now, what's often forgotten but is so essential is step 3, rest. Restoration is absolutely vital before the cycle can begin all over again, with the next generation taking what they've inherited and adapting it.
And here is the most profound part. When his work was done, Bumba didn't just vanish. He dispersed. He became one with his creation. He is present in every river, every sunrise, and in every single person who turns their own pain into something beautiful. It's this incredible theology of ancestral presence, of the Creator living on through the act of creation itself.
And that leaves us with this final, really powerful thought. The ultimate gift of this story isn't the finished world. It's the invitation. It's the chance for each and every one of us to take part in that ongoing cycle, to continue the work, and to transform our own pain into presence.